These 4 signs tells you a married woman wants you. Facts Psychologue. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life. Today we'll explore the subtle but clear signs that a married woman may be interested in more than just friendship. These 4 signs are undeniable, and recognizing them can help you navigate these tricky waters with wisdom. Our goal is not to encourage pursuing a relationship with a married woman, but to raise awareness so you can handle the situation with integrity. Remember, respect and empathy for others' relationships are paramount. Always think about how you would feel if the roles were reversed. Before we dive into today's insightful discussion, make sure to subscribe to Stoic in Your Life and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Number 1. She always answers you quickly. One of the most telling signs that a married woman might be interested in you is her quick responses to your messages. In general, when women are interested in someone, they tend to give that person extra attention. This doesn't change even if she's married. Despite having a husband, she will find ways to respond to you swiftly, often under the guise of routine activities. For example, she might pretend to go to the bathroom just to reply to your messages rather than waiting for a more opportune moment when her husband is not around. This behavior often leads to many married women getting caught by their spouses because they prioritize their secret conversations over everything else. If she is consistently giving you more attention than her husband and responds almost instantly, this is a clear indication of her interest in you. Let's delve deeper into this behavior. Imagine you're at work, and you notice that every time you message her, regardless of the time or situation, she replies almost immediately. This pattern suggests that she's prioritizing your communication over her usual responsibilities. Think about it. How often do we drop everything to respond to someone unless they are particularly important to us? This behavior can be a strong indicator that she values your interaction significantly. In modern life, the constant connectivity through smartphones has made such interactions more common and more detectable. A story that resonates with this is of a colleague who, despite being married, found herself increasingly drawn to a new team member. She started checking her phone obsessively, making sure to reply to his messages quickly. It wasn't long before her husband noticed the unusual phone activity, leading to tension in their marriage. This real-life scenario underscores how quick responses can signal deeper emotional engagement. Do you think this kind of attention is harmless, or does it inevitably lead to complications? Reflecting on Marcus Aurelius's teachings, how can one maintain Stoic principles in such scenarios? Being aware of these signs doesn't mean you should act on them. Instead, consider the Stoic virtues of wisdom and self-discipline. As Marcus Aurelius advised, we must remain grounded and not be swayed by fleeting desires. Moreover, this behavior can also be seen through the lens of modern psychology. Psychologists suggest that when someone is infatuated, their brain releases dopamine, making them feel pleasure when interacting with the object of their affection. This neurological reaction can explain why a married woman might be quick to respond to your messages. It gives her a dopamine rush, which she begins to crave. However, it's crucial to approach this situation with a Stoic mindset. Ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? The answer lies in self-control and ethical behavior. You wouldn't want to be the cause of someone else's marital problems. Reflecting on the golden rule, treat others as you would want to be treated. If the roles were reversed, would you want someone to entertain your partner's advances? In conclusion, while quick responses from a married woman can be a strong sign of her interest, it's essential to handle the situation with integrity. Embrace Stoic teachings and Marcus Aurelius's wisdom by focusing on what you can control, your reactions and decisions. Understanding these signs should not lead to exploiting the situation, but rather to acting with respect and honor. By doing so, you uphold the principles of Stoicism and ensure that your actions are aligned with your values. Maintaining your principles, you not only protect yourself but also demonstrate the strength and wisdom of Stoic teachings in modern life. Number 2. She gets on your wavelength. When a married woman is interested in you, she often aligns herself with your thoughts and actions, subtly mirroring your behavior and interests. Unlike a faithful woman who would distance herself from any man with ulterior motives, an interested woman will stay in touch and engage more deeply with you. She might start playing along with your more intimate jokes or conversations, falling in line with your playful interactions. This is a clear sign that she's getting on your wavelength. Moreover, she begins to drop hints about her dissatisfaction with her marriage, subtly or overtly complaining about her husband. She might mention that they no longer share a bed or that he doesn't satisfy her needs. These complaints are not just random gripes, but are often a tactic to garner your sympathy and interest. By portraying herself as a victim of neglect or mistreatment, she seeks to justify her actions and attract your attention without feeling guilty. This behavior is a common trait of an unfaithful woman. She places the blame on her husband for her actions, painting herself as the wronged party. This narrative allows her to engage in infidelity while maintaining a sense of moral high ground. She might say things like, "He doesn't pay attention to me," or "He doesn't value me," using these excuses to rationalize her behavior. Consider this. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone seems to share your thoughts and feelings almost too perfectly? It's as if they are in tune with your every word and action. This synchronization is often more than just coincidence. It can be a deliberate effort to create a connection. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When someone aligns their thoughts with yours, it can create a powerful, albeit sometimes deceptive bond. In modern life, this kind of behavior can be seen in various scenarios. Imagine you're working on a project with a colleague who starts to echo your ideas and opinions, seemingly becoming your biggest supporter. While this can feel flattering, it's essential to remain cautious and aware of their intentions. Are they genuinely interested in your ideas, or is there an ulterior motive at play? Reflecting on this, how do you think such alignment affects your perception of someone's interest? Does it make you feel more connected, or does it raise red flags about their intentions? It's crucial to ask yourself these questions to understand the dynamics at play. A famous quote by Maya Angelou comes to mind. "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." If a married woman consistently complains about her husband while showing interest in you, she's revealing her true intentions. It's vital to take these signs seriously and not dismiss them as mere coincidences. Let's delve deeper into the psychology behind this behavior. When a person, especially a married woman, starts to align with your wavelength, it's often because they seek an emotional or physical connection that they feel is lacking in their current relationship. This alignment can be flattering, making you feel understood and valued. However, it's essential to remember that this is a calculated move to draw you in. Have you ever noticed how quickly this alignment can escalate into more intimate conversations and shared secrets? This rapid progression is designed to build trust and deepen the connection. But ask yourself, is this trust genuine, or is it based on a foundation of manipulation and deceit? Recognizing the signs that a married woman is getting on your wavelength is crucial for understanding her true intentions. By complaining about her husband and aligning herself with your thoughts and actions, she creates a false sense of connection. It's important to remain vigilant and not let these tactics cloud your judgment. As you navigate these interactions, remember the teachings of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and maintain a clear, rational perspective. Ask yourself open-ended questions to evaluate the situation critically and avoid falling into the trap of infidelity. By doing so, you uphold the principles of Stoicism and ensure that your actions reflect integrity and respect for others. Number 3. She compliments you. When a married woman starts to lavish you with compliments, it's a telltale sign of her interest. She will seize any opportunity to praise you, boosting your ego while subtly diminishing her husband's. This behavior is a strategic move to lure you into her world by making you feel special and superior to her spouse. A common tactic of an unfaithful woman is to portray her relationship as broken and herself as unhappy, aiming to draw you in by sharing her marital woes. If you notice a married woman frequently complimenting you and implying that you are the one who understands her while her husband does not, take caution. This is not just flattery. It's a calculated attempt to create an emotional bond. In modern life, such behavior can easily go unnoticed, especially in professional settings where praise and recognition are common. However, it's essential to discern the intent behind the compliments. Are they genuinely acknowledging your efforts, or is there an underlying motive? Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Reflect on whether the praise you receive is fostering positive thoughts or if it's clouding your judgment with unwarranted flattery. Think about a colleague who constantly praises your ideas, making you feel valued and appreciated. While this might boost your confidence, it's crucial to consider if there's more to it. Is this person simply supportive, or is there a personal interest at play? Compliments can be powerful tools for manipulation, making you more susceptible to their advances. It's important to remain grounded and maintain a clear perspective on the situation. Moreover, this behavior often includes sharing personal grievances about her husband, painting herself as a victim. She might say things like, "You always understand me so well," or, "I wish my husband were more like you." These statements are designed to make you feel indispensable and unique, drawing you further into her emotional orbit. A famous quote by Aristotle comes to mind, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." In these moments, knowing your values and maintaining self-awareness can protect you from getting entangled in a morally compromising situation. You're working late and a married coworker frequently stops by your desk, complimenting your dedication and sharing stories about her unhappy marriage. She makes you feel like a hero for simply listening and understanding her plight. While it might feel good to be appreciated, it's essential to recognize the potential pitfalls. This is where practical Stoicism can be your guide. By applying Stoic philosophy, you can navigate these interactions with wisdom and integrity. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, advised, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." When faced with a married woman's advances, remember who you want to be, a person of integrity and honor. This perspective will help you avoid succumbing to temptation and maintain your ethical standards. Reflect on how her compliments and complaints align with your values and the kind of relationships you want to foster. As you navigate these situations, ask yourself if the attention you're receiving is worth the potential consequences. Is it worth compromising your values and possibly harming another person's relationship? Recognizing when a married woman is using compliments as a means to draw you in is crucial. By understanding the signs and applying Stoic lessons, you can protect yourself from becoming entangled in a situation that goes against your principles. Remember the wisdom of Stoic philosophers and the importance of self-awareness. As you move forward, let practical Stoicism guide your interactions, ensuring that you act with integrity and respect for yourself and others. Stay vigilant, trust in your values, and always strive to be the best version of yourself. This approach will not only protect you, but also help you build meaningful and honorable relationships. If you've made it this far, you're a keen observer of human behavior. Drop a comment saying, "I see the signs," and to show you're tuned into these psychological insights. Stick around, more fascinating content is on the way. Number 4, she wants to find you. When a married woman is interested in you, she will go to great lengths to be near you. She will invent numerous excuses to cross paths with you, whether it's trying to hang out with you and mutual friends, or adjusting her schedule to go to the gym at the same time as you. This relentless pursuit is one of the most blatant signs of her interest. She might persuade you to spend time together under the guise of harmless fun, but her true intention is to initiate a deeper, more intimate connection. As Seneca once said, "Fidelity bought with money is overcome by money." In this context, the emotional currency she spends on you is a clear indication of her intentions. In modern life, It's not uncommon to encounter situations where someone seems to go out of their way to be around you. Imagine a colleague who suddenly takes an interest in all your hobbies, attends the same events, and seems to always be where you are. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a deliberate effort to create opportunities for deeper interaction. Reflect on these patterns of behavior and consider their implications. Have you ever noticed how some people make extraordinary efforts to stay connected? This persistence can be flattering, but it's essential to recognize the potential underlying motives. When a married woman seeks you out, it's often a sign that she is looking to step outside the boundaries of her marriage. Her complaints about her husband and her constant presence are not just cries for attention, but strategic moves to draw you into her orbit. A story that illustrates this point involves a man who found himself frequently running into a married neighbor at his local coffee shop. Initially, he thought it was a coincidence, but as these encounters became more frequent, he realized she was orchestrating these meetings. She would talk about how unhappy she was in her marriage, subtly hinting at her interest in him. This scenario is all too common and serves as a reminder to be aware of the signs and intentions behind someone's actions. Why do you think some people go to such lengths to pursue someone outside their marriage? This question encourages introspection and helps you understand the complexities of human relationships. Recognizing these signs can help you navigate these situations with clarity and integrity. At the end of the day, pursuing a relationship with a married woman is fraught with complications and ethical dilemmas. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you allow yourself to be drawn into an affair, you compromise your own happiness and integrity. Instead, focus on building relationships that are open and honest." There are plenty of single available women who are looking for meaningful connections. Investing your time and emotions in someone who is already committed to another person is rarely worth the trouble and can lead to significant emotional turmoil. If you were the husband, unaware of your wife's actions, would you want someone else to respect your relationship boundaries? Applying Stoic teachings and practicing empathy can guide you to make better decisions. When you notice a married woman giving you excessive attention and trying to find you, recognize it as a red flag. Remember that investing in relationships built on deceit will only lead to heartache for all parties involved. In conclusion, while the attention and pursuit from a married woman may seem flattering, it's important to stay true to your values and principles. Use the wisdom of Stoic philosophy to navigate these situations. As you encounter these signs, remind yourself of the importance of integrity and the value of pursuing genuine, honest relationships. By doing so, you not only protect yourself, but also uphold the Stoic lessons that lead to a more fulfilling and honorable life. So be wise, stay grounded, and invest in connections that truly matter. 10 psychological tricks to prevent others from manipulating you. People can only hurt you if you let them. Next, we're diving into 10 powerful psychological tricks to prevent others from manipulating you. Have you ever felt doubtful about your own decisions because someone else made you question them? Or felt pushed into doing something that didn't align with your values? Stick around, because we're about to arm you with the tools to stay in control and protect yourself from manipulation. 1. Do not accept favors. When navigating through life's complexities, it's crucial to understand how to guard yourself against manipulation. Let's explore the first psychological trick to prevent others from manipulating you. Do not accept favors. Imagine this scenario. A colleague at work goes out of their way to help you with a project or offers a small, thoughtful gift. On the surface, it appears as a genuine act of kindness. However, what if their intention is to create a sense of obligation? Later, they might ask you to do something you're uncomfortable with, leveraging the favor they did for you to make you comply. The best way to handle such situations is to respectfully return the gift or politely decline the help. By doing so, you ensure your autonomy and maintain control over your decisions. This strategy helps you to solve your own problems and enjoy the satisfaction of not owing anyone anything. If a friend insists on helping you move to a new apartment and later expects you to cover for their mistakes at work, it becomes clear that their initial offer wasn't entirely selfless. By taking care of your own needs, you prevent others from holding undue influence over you. Think about it. Have you ever accepted a favor only to later feel pressured to reciprocate in a way that made you uncomfortable? This feeling of indebtedness is a common tactic used by manipulative individuals to exert control. It's important to recognize when someone's kindness comes with strings attached. In modern life, consider the story of Jane, a talented graphic designer who received a job offer from a well-connected friend. Initially grateful, Jane accepted the job and thrived in her new role. However, her friend soon began asking for free design work outside of Jane's regular responsibilities. When Jane hesitated, her friend reminded her of the job opportunity she had been given, creating a moral dilemma. Jane's experience highlights the importance of maintaining clear boundaries, even in professional relationships. By learning to navigate these tricky situations, you empower yourself to make decisions based on your own values and needs, rather than external pressures. Here's an open-ended question for you. How would you handle a situation where a favor from a friend or colleague begins to feel like a form of manipulation? Reflecting on this can help you prepare for similar scenarios in the future, reinforcing your resolve to maintain personal autonomy. Ultimately, the lesson here is about preserving your independence. By avoiding the acceptance of favors that come with hidden motives, you protect yourself from being manipulated. This not only fosters self-reliance but also cultivates genuine relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Always strive to identify the true intentions behind a favor and be prepared to say no when necessary. This approach ensures that you stay in control of your own actions and decisions, leading to a more authentic and empowered life. By understanding and applying the psychological trick, you take a significant step towards safeguarding your mental and emotional well-being. It's a powerful reminder that while acts of kindness are valuable, they should never compromise your integrity or autonomy. This knowledge equips you with the tools to navigate relationships and interactions with confidence and clarity, making you less susceptible to manipulation. Remember, your ability to solve your own problems and enjoy the feeling of not owing anyone anything is a testament to your strength and independence. So next time someone offers you unsolicited help or a seemingly generous favor, consider the potential implications and make a choice that aligns with your personal boundaries and values. 2. Respond back. When dealing with manipulators, one of the most effective psychological tricks you can employ is to respond back assertively. Manipulative people often expect their victims to comply without question, but you can disrupt their plans by pushing back and asking critical questions. If someone pressures you into doing something you're uncomfortable with, you might ask, "Do you really care about my opinion? I feel like you're just asking for the sake of it." This question can make them reconsider their approach as they realize you are not a passive participant in the interaction. Similarly, asking, "Are you willing to support my decision even if it's different from yours?" challenges their intentions and asserts your right to make independent choices. If they hesitate or fail to support you, it's a clear sign of their manipulative behavior. Another powerful question is, "Do you actually want me to do this? This doesn't benefit me at all." This directly confronts their motives and forces them to acknowledge that their request is self-serving. Consider a workplace scenario where a colleague habitually offloads their work onto others. By asking them, "Can you do this for me next time?" you turn the tables and highlight the unfairness of their actions. These questions not only expose the manipulator's unreasonable demands, but also empower you to stand your ground. Remember, as Eleanor Roosevelt wisely said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." By responding assertively, you reclaim your power and dignity in the face of manipulation. Let's delve deeper into why this technique is so effective. Manipulators thrive on control and often choose their targets based on perceived vulnerability. When you push back, you disrupt their expectations and force them to rethink their approach. This can be particularly empowering in personal relationships, where manipulation might be subtle, yet pervasive. The essence of this approach is to foster self-awareness and self-respect. By asking critical questions, you not only protect yourself from manipulation, but also set a standard for how you deserve to be treated. This proactive stance encourages others to respect your boundaries and view you as a strong, independent individual. As you practice this technique, you'll find that manipulators are less likely to target you, knowing that you are not easily swayed. Furthermore, this strategy can be applied in various aspects of life, from professional settings to personal relationships. It's about cultivating an environment where open communication and mutual respect are the norms. By consistently responding back, you build a reputation as someone who is assertive and confident, which can deter potential manipulators. In conclusion, the power of responding back lies in its simplicity and effectiveness. It's a reminder that you have the right to question, to assert, and to demand respect. As you incorporate this technique into your daily interactions, you'll discover a newfound sense of empowerment and control. Remember, manipulation only thrives in the absence of resistance. By standing up for yourself and asking the right questions, you break the cycle of manipulation and pave the way for healthier, more respectful relationships. So, next time you sense manipulation, don't hesitate to respond back and reclaim your power. Now, we value your input. Which strategy do you find most useful against manipulators? If respond back is your choice, drop a quick comment below to let us know. Number 3. Use their name in conversations. This strategy, though not new, has been highlighted for decades, notably in Dale Carnegie's seminal book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, published in 1936. Carnegie emphasized the profound impact of addressing someone by their name, as it creates a sense of personal connection and mutual respect. Using a person's name in conversation can transform the interaction, making it warmer and more engaging, and significantly, it serves as a subtle yet powerful tool to disrupt manipulative tactics. Consider how often you felt a stronger connection with someone simply because they remembered and used your name. This technique is not just about politeness. It's about forging a deeper, psychological bond. When you use a person's preferred name, you affirm their identity and value, which can make it considerably more challenging for manipulators to exert control over you. They lose their grip when faced with someone who acknowledges and respects them as an individual, rather than just another pawn in their game. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By using someone's name, you elevate the quality of your interaction, steering it towards respect and away from manipulation. Let's delve deeper into why this works so effectively. Using someone's name repeatedly in a conversation can disrupt their usual tactics because it brings the interaction to a more personal level. If a colleague or superior frequently tries to offload their work onto you, addressing them directly with their name can make them more conscious of their actions. Saying something like, "John, I understand you're busy, but I have my own deadlines to meet," not only personalizes the conversation but also subtly reinforces your boundaries. In modern life, the story of Steve, a middle-aged manager in a bustling corporate environment, illustrates this principle well. Steve noticed that his team leader, Mark, often delegated extra tasks to him, assuming he would comply without hesitation. Tired of the additional workload, Steve began addressing Mark by his name in every request or conversation. "Mark, I need to discuss the project timelines with you." Or, "Mark, this task seems beyond my current workload. Can we redistribute it?" This approach humanized their interaction, making Mark more aware of his unreasonable demands and leading to a more balanced workload distribution. Expanding on this, using someone's name can also be a form of positive reinforcement. When you associate their name with compliments or positive feedback, it not only builds rapport but also encourages better behavior. Telling a colleague, "Sarah, I really appreciate your help on that project," reinforces a positive dynamic and fosters a cooperative environment. This technique isn't just limited to avoiding manipulation. It can also enhance your leadership skills and improve team dynamics. famous quotes can further reinforce this idea. For instance, the American poet Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Using someone's name in conversation is a small yet powerful way to make them feel acknowledged and respected, leaving a lasting positive impression. The power of using names in conversations cannot be overstated. It's a simple technique that carries immense psychological weight, capable of transforming interactions and protecting you from manipulation. By making your conversations more personal and respectful, you assert your presence and set clear boundaries. This practice not only helps in preventing manipulation, but also enhances your overall communication skills, leading to more meaningful and respectful relationships. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation, remember to use the other person's name thoughtfully and observe how it shifts the dynamics in your favor. As you incorporate this technique into your daily interactions, you'll notice a significant improvement in the quality of your relationships and your ability to maintain control over your decisions and actions. 4. Make eye contact. This technique, while simple, holds significant power in disarming manipulators. By making direct eye contact, you create a level of engagement that distracts the manipulator and asserts your confidence and control. Imagine being in a situation where someone is trying to coerce you into doing something against your will. Just saying no might not be enough to deter an experienced manipulator. But when you say no, while looking them directly in the eyes, it sends a clear message of self-assurance and resolve. Manipulators often use eye contact as a tool to exert dominance and control over their victims. They believe that their unwavering gaze can intimidate and subdue. However, you can turn the tables by maintaining strong, steady eye contact. This simple act can make them uncomfortable and cause them to second-guess their approach. It's a psychological battle of wills where your eye contact becomes a shield against their attempts to manipulate you. Let's dive into a story from modern life to illustrate this point. Consider John, a middle-aged professional who often faced manipulation from his colleague, Rick. Rick would frequently try to offload his tasks onto John, assuming John would comply without resistance. One day, John decided to change his approach. When Rick came over with yet another request, John looked him straight in the eyes and firmly said, "No, Rick, I can't take on your work. I have my own deadlines to meet." Rick, taken aback by John's directness and unwavering gaze, felt uneasy and retreated. John's simple act of making eye contact and standing his ground changed the dynamic of their interactions, and Rick stopped trying to manipulate him. This tactic is supported by numerous psychological studies. Direct eye contact not only conveys confidence, but also asserts dominance in social interactions. It's a nonverbal cue that you are not easily swayed and that you are aware of the manipulative tactics being employed against you. Think about it. Have you ever felt a surge of power and confidence when you maintained eye contact during a difficult conversation? This feeling is not just psychological, but physiological, as eye contact can trigger a sense of control and calm. Making eye contact also humanizes the interaction. It forces the manipulator to recognize you as an equal rather than a target. This recognition can disrupt their manipulative strategies, as they are often based on dehumanizing their victims to some extent. By looking them in the eyes, you remind them that you are a person with your own thoughts, feelings, and boundaries. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you make eye contact and maintain your composure, you are demonstrating the strength of your inner resolve. This not only protects you from manipulation, but also reinforces your self-respect and dignity. It's a practical application of Stoic principles where you control your response and maintain your integrity in the face of external pressures. As you reflect on this tactic, consider how you can apply it in your daily life. Whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or casual encounters, maintaining eye contact can significantly alter the dynamics of the interaction. Here's an open-ended question for you. How do you feel when you make direct eye contact during a conversation, especially in challenging situations? Reflecting on this can help you harness the power of eye contact to assert your confidence and protect yourself from manipulation. Making eye contact is a simple yet powerful tool in your psychological arsenal against manipulation. It's about asserting your presence, showing confidence, and disrupting the manipulator's strategy. By incorporating this tactic into your daily interactions, you not only protect yourself, but also cultivate a stronger sense of self-respect and authority. Remember, the next time someone tries to manipulate you, look them straight in the eyes and let your gaze speak volumes. This act of courage and confidence will not only disarm them, but also reinforce your own inner strength. As you practice this technique, you'll find yourself more empowered and less susceptible to manipulation, leading to healthier and more balanced relationships. 5. Avoid vague conversations. Next, manipulators often use a strategy of taking specific situations out of context and then generalizing them to make you feel guilty or ashamed. They might exaggerate a single event and present it as if it's a recurring issue, undermining your confidence and making you question your behavior. This tactic is designed to put you on the defensive and control the narrative. Imagine this scenario. An angry wife tells her husband that he always forgets to take out the trash, even though it's the first time he's actually forgotten. This is a classic example of a manipulative strategy. To counter this, you could respond with something like, "You might be right, but try to recall previous instances when I made such a mistake." By doing this, you challenge the manipulator's attempt to generalize a single incident, forcing them to provide concrete examples to support their claim. This not only disrupts their strategy but also helps you maintain your composure and confidence. Let's delve deeper into why avoiding vague conversations is so effective. When you allow conversations to remain vague, you give manipulators the freedom to twist facts and impose their version of reality. By insisting on specifics, you take control of the narrative. This approach is grounded in clarity and factual accuracy, which are powerful tools against manipulation. Focusing on clear, specific communication, you ensure that your thoughts and interactions are based on reality rather than manipulation. This practice not only protects you from being manipulated, but also reinforces your integrity and self-respect. It's a practical application of Stoic principles, where you remain grounded in truth and clarity. To expand on this, avoiding vague conversations also involves setting clear boundaries and expectations. When you communicate your needs and expectations clearly, it becomes harder for manipulators to distort your words or intentions. For instance, in a relationship, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you could say, "I feel unheard when I talk about my day because you often interrupt." This specific statement addresses the behavior without generalizing it, making it easier to resolve the issue constructively. Famous quotes can further reinforce this idea. George Bernard Shaw once said, "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place." By avoiding vague conversations, you ensure that true communication occurs, grounded in specifics and mutual understanding. The power of avoiding vague conversations lies in its ability to bring clarity and truth to your interactions. It's about challenging manipulative tactics with facts and specifics, ensuring that you remain in control of the narrative. By incorporating this technique into your daily interactions, you not only protect yourself from manipulation, but also foster healthier, more transparent relationships. Remember, the next time someone tries to manipulate you with vague statements, insist on specifics and watch how the dynamic shifts in your favor. This act of courage and clarity will not only disarm manipulators, but also reinforce your own inner strength and integrity. As you practice this technique, you'll find yourself more empowered and less susceptible to manipulation, leading to healthier and more balanced relationships. 6. Repeat until they understand. Manipulators despise hearing the same phrase over and over, especially when it counters their agenda. If someone persistently pressures you, attempting to coerce you into making a decision that benefits them, you can disrupt their strategy by calmly and repeatedly stating your position. This method of repetition emphasizes your stance and can quickly make the manipulator abandon their intentions. The key to this technique is maintaining a steady tone and not showing any emotion, which demonstrates your resolve and unyielding position. Imagine you're in a situation where a colleague is trying to push you into taking on additional work that isn't your responsibility. You might say, "I can't take on more projects right now." If they persist, repeat, "I can't take on more projects right now." By consistently and unemotionally repeating your statement, you signal that you are firm in your decision and not open to persuasion. This tactic is rooted in the psychological principle of assertiveness, where your repetition serves as a boundary that the manipulator cannot cross. This approach is supported by the teachings of Stoic philosophers like Epictetus, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By repeating your stance, you control the interaction and your response, rather than being swayed by external pressures. This method reinforces your autonomy and assertiveness in the face of manipulation. To understand the effectiveness of this technique, let's explore it further. Repetition works because it leaves no room for misinterpretation. The manipulator hears the same message consistently, which can be frustrating for them, but empowering for you. It's a clear, unwavering assertion of your boundaries and desires. If a friend continuously asks you to lend them money and you're not comfortable with it, you can calmly say, "I don't lend money to friends." If they keep asking, simply repeat, "I don't lend money to friends." This consistent message makes it clear that your position is non-negotiable. Let's connect this technique to your everyday life. How often do you find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do because of persistent pressure? Reflecting on this, you can see the power in calmly repeating your true desires and boundaries. By doing so, you maintain control over your decisions and reduce the likelihood of being manipulated. To expand on this, repeating your stance isn't about being stubborn. It's about being clear and assertive. It's a demonstration of self-respect and clarity. For example, in negotiations, repeating your terms can ensure that the other party understands your non-negotiable points. In personal relationships, it helps in setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. Famous quotes can enrich this content and reinforce its credibility. As Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. By habitually repeating your boundaries, you cultivate excellence in self-respect and assertiveness. The power of repeating until they understand lies in its simplicity and effectiveness. It's a straightforward technique that empowers you to assert your boundaries clearly and consistently. By incorporating this method into your interactions, you protect yourself from manipulation and reinforce your autonomy. Remember, the next time someone tries to pressure you into a decision, repeat your stance calmly and confidently. This act of repetition not only disarms the manipulator but also strengthens your inner resolve. As you practice this technique, you'll find yourself more empowered and less susceptible to manipulation, leading to healthier, more respectful relationships. 7. Distract yourself and relax. Handling manipulation can be mentally exhausting and emotionally draining, so it's essential to find ways to keep calm and composed. One effective method is to visualize a giant fish tank with thick walls between you and the manipulator. In this scenario, imagine that sound cannot pass through the tank, so you can only see the other person's lips moving without actually hearing their words. This mental image can help you stay detached and reduce the emotional impact of the manipulative behavior. By envisioning this fish tank barrier, you give yourself a mental buffer zone that allows you to maintain your composure and not be swayed by the manipulator's words. This technique is particularly useful in high-pressure situations where it's easy to get overwhelmed. Think about it. When you remain calm and collected, it becomes much harder for the manipulator to get under your skin. This approach not only protects your mental health but also gives you the upper hand in the interaction. Now let's delve deeper into why this method works. The power of visualization lies in its ability to shift your focus away from the stressor and onto a calming image. By mentally placing a barrier between you and the manipulator, you create a psychological distance that makes their attempts to control you less effective. It's like hitting the mute button on their manipulation tactics, allowing you to think more clearly and respond more effectively. This technique is rooted in mindfulness and can be a game changer in high-stress interactions. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By using visualization to distract yourself and relax, you exercise control over your mental state, regardless of the manipulative tactics being used against you. This reinforces the idea that your response to external pressures is entirely within your control. Here's an open-ended question for you. How do you usually react when someone tries to manipulate you? And how do you think this visualization technique might change your response? Reflecting on this can help you better understand the potential impact of this strategy on your interactions. Expanding on this, the visualization technique can be tailored to suit different situations. For instance, if you're dealing with a manipulative colleague during a meeting, you could imagine the fish tank scenario to stay composed and focused. If it's a personal relationship, picturing a peaceful scene like a serene beach might help you stay calm and not react emotionally. The key is to find a mental image that helps you relax and maintain your composure. Famous quotes can further enrich this concept. As Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world." By harnessing the power of your imagination, you can navigate manipulative situations with greater ease and confidence. The power of distracting yourself and relaxing through visualization is a simple yet effective tool to combat manipulation. It helps you stay calm, maintain control over your reactions, and handle stressful interactions with grace. By incorporating this technique into your daily life, you can protect your mental well-being and reinforce your boundaries. Remember, the next time you face manipulation, visualize that fish tank and let the manipulator's words fade into the background. This act of mental distraction not only disarms the manipulator, but also empowers you to respond from a place of strength and clarity. As you practice this technique, you'll find yourself more resilient and less susceptible to manipulation, leading to healthier and more balanced relationships. 8. Maintain distance. Manipulators often use physical proximity as a way to exert control and influence over their targets. By invading your personal space, touching you, or patting your back, they aim to unsettle you and make you more susceptible to their demands. It's essential to recognize this tactic and take steps to create physical and emotional distance. Imagine you're at a social gathering, and someone who tends to manipulate others starts getting too close for comfort. They might place a hand on your shoulder or stand just a bit too close, making you feel uneasy. In such situations, it's important to reclaim your personal space. Take a few steps back, or reposition yourself to avoid contact. This action sends a clear message that you are not comfortable with their behavior and that you are asserting your boundaries. Physical distance is not just about stepping away, it's about maintaining your mental and emotional boundaries as well. When you create space, you give yourself the clarity to think and respond effectively. By maintaining distance, you ensure that you are not reacting impulsively or emotionally, but rather with calm and deliberate thought. Let's delve deeper into why maintaining distance is so effective. When manipulators invade your personal space, they are trying to establish dominance and make you feel off balance. By stepping back, you disrupt their strategy and regain control over the interaction. It's a subtle yet powerful way to assert your independence and resist their influence. Maintaining distance also involves setting clear verbal boundaries. If someone is persistently trying to manipulate you, Suggesting that you communicate in writing can be a game changer. Written communication is more formal and less susceptible to emotional manipulation. It allows you to take your time to respond thoughtfully, rather than being pressured into an immediate verbal agreement. For example, if a colleague tries to offload their responsibilities onto you in person, you can say, "Can you send me an email with the details? I'll review it and get back to you." This response not only buys you time but also puts the interaction on your terms. As the philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By maintaining distance and setting boundaries, you become the master of your interactions and protect your freedom from manipulation. The power of maintaining distance lies in its ability to provide clarity, control, and protection against manipulation. It's about asserting your physical and emotional boundaries in a way that makes it clear you will not be easily influenced. By incorporating this technique into your daily interactions, you safeguard your well-being and reinforce your autonomy. Remember, the next time someone tries to invade your space or pressure you, take a step back, both physically and mentally. This simple yet profound action not only disarms the manipulator, but also empowers you to handle the situation with confidence and composure. As you practice maintaining distance, you'll find yourself more resilient and less susceptible to manipulation, leading to healthier and more balanced relationships. 9. Analyze yourself. Manipulators frequently employ guilt as a weapon to control and influence others, attempting to make you feel responsible for their difficulties or failures. It's crucial to develop the habit of self-analysis to defend against such manipulation. When faced with accusations, particularly those designed to make you feel guilty, take a moment to reflect and ask yourself a few critical questions. If you find yourself needing to work overtime, and a manipulative colleague or superior blames this on your alleged delays, pause and consider, am I truly selfish? This question helps you evaluate whether there is any truth to the accusation or if it's merely a tactic to manipulate your emotions. Next, ask, do I depend or rely on the other person? This helps determine if the accusation is based on an interdependence that might need addressing. Finally, question, have I done anything to affect them? This self-reflection ensures that you are not dismissing valid feedback, but also not succumbing to baseless guilt. Regularly analyzing your thoughts and actions, you can maintain a clear and balanced perspective, preventing manipulators from clouding your judgment with guilt. Self-analysis allows you to understand your own behavior and motives better, thereby reinforcing your mental and emotional defenses against manipulation. To illustrate this point with a modern-day example, consider the story of David, a dedicated employee who often faced manipulative tactics from his manager. His manager would frequently blame David for project delays, even when the delays were due to external factors beyond David's control. Initially, David felt guilty and pressured to work extra hours to make up for perceived shortcomings. However, he decided to start analyzing these accusations more critically. He asked himself the key questions. Am I truly selfish? Do I depend or rely on my manager for the completion of my tasks? Have I done anything that directly impacts the project negatively? Through this self-reflection, David realized that the delays were not his fault and that he was being unfairly targeted. This realization empowered him to address the situation more confidently, eventually discussing his concerns with his manager and setting clearer boundaries. Incorporating self-analysis into your daily routine can significantly enhance your resilience against manipulation. By regularly questioning your actions and motives, you can discern between genuine accountability and manipulative guilt-tripping. This practice not only fortifies your self-esteem but also ensures that your responses are grounded in reality and fairness. How often do you feel guilty about situations that might not be entirely your fault? Reflecting on this can help you recognize patterns of manipulation and develop strategies to counteract them. For example, in a relationship, if your partner often makes you feel guilty for not spending enough time together despite your efforts, it's essential to analyze the situation objectively. Are their expectations reasonable? Have you genuinely neglected the relationship, or are they using guilt to control your behavior? Famous quotes can further reinforce the importance of self-analysis. As the philosopher Socrates famously said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." Regularly examining your life, actions, and motives helps you maintain a clear and objective perspective, safeguarding you against manipulation. The power of self-analysis lies in its ability to provide clarity and confidence in the face of manipulative tactics. By asking yourself critical questions and reflecting on your behavior, you can distinguish between genuine responsibility and undeserved guilt. This practice not only protects your mental and emotional well-being, but also strengthens your ability to respond to manipulation with poise and assertiveness. Remember, the next time someone tries to manipulate you with guilt, take a step back and analyze the situation objectively. This act of self-reflection not only disarms the manipulator, but also empowers you to handle the situation with confidence and clarity. As you practice self-analysis, you'll find yourself more resilient and less susceptible to manipulation, leading to healthier and more balanced relationships. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think is the most effective way to prevent manipulation? Just comment below with "Set clear boundaries" if you agree. 10. Set clear boundaries. Setting clear boundaries is a crucial psychological tactic to prevent others from manipulating you. Manipulators often exploit unclear boundaries to encroach on your personal space, time, and resources. By establishing and maintaining firm boundaries, you can protect yourself from being taken advantage of and maintain control over your life. Boundaries are like invisible lines that define where you end and another person begins. They encompass physical, emotional, and mental limits that you set to safeguard your well-being. When these lines are clear, it becomes much harder for manipulators to cross them without facing resistance. For example, if a colleague constantly asks you to cover their shifts, clearly state your availability and stick to it. By doing so, you signal that your time is valuable and not open to exploitation. A famous quote by the author and psychologist Henry Cloud perfectly captures the importance of boundaries. Boundaries define us. They define what is me and what is not me. A boundary shows me where I end and someone else begins, leading me to a sense of ownership. Taking ownership of your boundaries is an essential step in preventing manipulation. It involves being assertive about what you will and will not tolerate and communicating these limits effectively. Let's expand on how to set clear boundaries. Start by identifying your limits in various aspects of your life: work, personal relationships, and social interactions. Understand what makes you uncomfortable or stressed, and recognize these as areas where boundaries are needed. For instance, if you find it difficult to say no to social invitations, decide in advance how many events you are willing to attend in a week. Communicate this limit to your friends and stick to it, even if they try to persuade you otherwise. Consider the story of Alex, a successful entrepreneur who struggled with setting boundaries at work. His employees often contacted him after hours for non-urgent matters, disrupting his personal time. Realizing the need for clear boundaries, Alex established a policy that all non-emergency work communications should occur during business hours. He communicated this policy to his team and enforced it consistently. As a result, his employees respected his boundaries, and Alex regained control over his personal time. Boundaries also require consistent reinforcement. Manipulators might test your limits, hoping you will relent. It's essential to remain firm and not back down. If someone continuously pushes you to do something beyond your comfort zone, remind them of your boundaries. For instance, if a friend keeps asking for financial help despite your clear refusal, you might say, "I've already explained that I'm not in a position to lend money. Please respect my decision." Reflecting on your boundaries can help you understand their importance and how they affect your interactions. How do you feel when someone respects your boundaries versus when they violate them? This reflection can guide you in setting and maintaining effective boundaries. Famous quotes can further underscore this principle. As the poet Robert Frost said, "Good fences make good neighbors." This timeless wisdom highlights that clear boundaries foster healthy, respectful relationships by delineating personal limits and expectations. In conclusion, setting clear boundaries is a powerful strategy to protect yourself from manipulation. It involves defining your limits, communicating them assertively, and consistently enforcing them. By doing so, you maintain control over your life and prevent others from taking advantage of you. Remember, the next time someone tries to manipulate you, clearly state your boundaries and stand firm. This act of assertiveness not only deters manipulators, but also reinforces your self-respect and autonomy. As you practice setting and maintaining boundaries, you'll find yourself more empowered and less susceptible to manipulation, leading to healthier and more balanced relationships. Thank you for joining us on this journey to master the 10 psychological tricks to prevent others from manipulating you. We hope these strategies empower you to take control of your interactions and protect your well-being. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel, Stoic In Your Life. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our new videos. Stay empowered, stay in control, and remember to live stoically.